I'm going to talk about the P word, procrastination. Do you have a problem with procrastination? I certainly do. My procrastination teams up with perfectionism because my perfectionist says you have to do this perfectly, and that's just overwhelming. So my procrastinator jumps in and says, oh, you don't need to do it at all. You don't need to be uncomfortable. Just don't do it at all. And before I know it, I've picked up my phone and I've pulled up solitaire on my phone. And then I disappear into solitaire for, 10 minutes, half an hour. I mean, it can be an hour when I'm really trying to avoid something that I really know I need to do and I really don't want to do it. Or more, it's not that I don't want to do it, because I do want to do it. But I have this little voice in my head that says, oh, I don't feel like it. That's the voice of the procrastinator that says, I don't feel like doing it right now. And it'll send me into solitaire quicker than you can blink your eye. And I say to myself, as I'm pulling solitaire up on my phone, I say, I'm going to play just one game to blow off a little steam because I'm feeling a little anxious. Well, the problem is, it's not just one game. It's 2, 4, 5 games. I mean, solitaire for me is addictive. And when I get started on it, I turn into a zombie. I'm just like staring at my screen playing. And then I feel really bad about myself because I didn't get the thing that was really important done. And here's the thing about procrastination and perfectionism. They are almost impossible to cure without a little bit of help. And the reason I say that is because procrastination, perfectionism, and a bunch of other isms are the result of our thinking. It's my mind that is working against me when I am in perfectionism and procrastination mode. And what I mean by that is, and I'm referencing the positive intelligence framework, positive intelligence mental fitness program. We have saboteurs. We have 10 saboteurs. The primary one is the judge, and then there are 9 other saboteurs that are the accomplices. And for me, the 2 saboteurs that are the most, besides the judge, that are the most dominant for me are perfectionism and procrastination. And I can't just say, I'm not going to be a perfectionist anymore and I'm not going to procrastinate anymore. I mean, it's practically impossible for me to just will myself out of those states of mind. The Positive Intelligence Mental Fitness Program is specifically designed to help us get rid of the saboteurs. Well, you never really get rid of the saboteurs, but to quiet them down so that they are not running your life. Because when I'm in perfectionism mode and I get overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of having to do it perfectly, and then my procrastination kicks in and tells me, screw it, just don't do it at all. I am in saboteur mode. I am thinking from my survivor brain. You've heard it, survivor brain or reptilian brain. That is the amygdala and the parts of the limbic system and parts of the brainstem. The saboteur brain or the survivor brain is where our stress response originates. So when you are stressed, it's the fight, flight, freeze, fawn. You've probably heard of those fight, freeze, and fawn. Well, those are the stress reaction to anxiety and stress and fear. And when we're thinking in that part of our brain, it's like there's an on switch that's permanently on. So what I love about the mental fitness program is that it has given me the tools to be able to turn that switch off. I recognize when I'm procrastinating. I'm able to say, hey, I'm procrastinating. And then I'm able to shift into what in positive intelligence we call the sage brain. And the sage brain is, think of it as our wise brain. It's the prefrontal cortex. It's the right side of the brain, the creative side of the brain. It's the part of the brain that is curious and open and non-judgmental. So the mental fitness has taught me how to turn off that switch in my survivor brain when my procrastinator and my perfectionism are running amok and running my life. I can switch off and shift into sage brain, where I can be compassionate with myself and I can be empathetic and I can say, I understand that I'm feeling overwhelmed right now. And then I can say to myself, is this really something that has to be done perfectly, or is 80% good enough? My aspiration is to become a good enoughist. That's a term that Brené Brown coined in The Art of Imperfection. She says that she is a recovering perfectionist and an aspiring good enoughist, and that is me. And the only way I can be an aspiring good enoughist is if I'm thinking from my sage brain rather than from my saboteur brain. If you also have a problem with the P's, perfectionism and procrastination, and they're really causing a lot of problems in your life, if they're really running amok in your life like they did in mine, message me. I'd love to tell you more about how I quieted down the two P's and how what I have done can be applied to you so that you too can minimize the effect of perfectionism and procrastination on your life. Message me. I'd love to talk to you if this is a problem for you. If you like this video, please like it. Please comment. Tell me what you thought. And if you think this video is something that someone else ought to see, please share it with your network, with the people you know, and message me. I'd love to tell you more about how to slay perfectionism and procrastination.